Well, I forgot to start the recording, so we missed the first couple of questions. Sorry.
You can like write it in an email.
Yeah. Well,
Where's
If-
James?
yeah, I know, we need James. If I hadn't opened up to this screen, the people watching the recording would never even know this question happened since I made it up. Yeah, but now I've given myself away. Oh well. Okay, let's go on to the next one. And I'll go, after we do this one, I'll go check to see if any more copies have printed out. Yeah, I need to email James and tell him he's failing on his, it's still his job. Still his job. Okay, based on the below state diagram having X input and output Y, which of the following statements is correct?
Could we real quick go back to the 4-bit register so I can take a picture?
To the what? The 4-bit register?
Yeah.
Yep.
I know what's ready.
Yep. Oh, there's someone in the chat. And again, James, it's James's fault for not letting me know. Okay, if you want to shift left, would you just go an extra mux back? Yes, you would. That's correct. Yep. You would go, rather than going from the one forward, you'd go to the one behind it. Let me see. Does this one have output on it? Looks like output is not on there, so I am just going to arbitrarily make the output 0. State B. So I'm going to say the output of is 1. I'll make it mealy. 1. One, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Oh, I see what I did. I didn't put the slashes in there. Okay, so I'm reading this. I'm interpreting this as X is a 2-bit number. X is a 2-bit number. You could also read the same question a different way. I'm just not going to tell you the other way to read it and not worry about it. And I'm saying that it's mealy and the output is in red. And I believe we're going to skip 5 because I don't think you need to know that one. Okay. All right, so anybody want to take a guess on this one?
The answer's D.
No, because I'm having, that would be true if B, when X is 2, if this is a 2-bit number. It is correct for the way to read it that I misread it.
Oh.
So if you're reading this as 1 as the input and 0 as the output, yes, then it's D.
Oh,
But
I missed the part where you changed it.
Yeah, but I changed it to make X is the 2-bit number and the output is red.
Okay.
And it just means that some of these are not showing all the outputs because they're just say they don't cares. But yes, you would be correct if you were reading these two numbers right here. If the first is the input and the second is the output, that would be correct.
Okay.
Anybody want to say what they think it is based on my adjustment to the problem? Yep.
Are there don't cares in the input?
Yes.
Okay.
That each one has two don't cares. And with a don't care for the output as well.
Could you zoom in a little? So is that 0 don't care, 1 don't care?
No, this is I meant this to be like your input is the 2-bit number 1 0. Here your input is the 2-bit number 0 0.
Okay, so
Those are zeros. Oh, was that your question?
Yeah.
No, those are zeros. I don't know why they're so. I remember getting this. I copied this off an exam from some professor in some other university, but it didn't copy over very well.
Wait, can we see the answer?
Oh, sorry.
So would it not be A?
It is A. It is A with this adjustment, yes. Because when it's 0 0, that's 0. B changes to C, and the output Y is 1.
So when it's 1 and 0, would that be an output of 1 or just still be a
We don't. That's a don't care.
Oh, that's don't care.
Oh, wait, yeah, I'm sorry. 1 and 0. No, 1 and 0 would be stays at B and output of 0.
But which value are we supposed to represent X for?
X is always before the slash, or the input is before the slash. The output's after the slash.
Yes.
I said X is a 2-bit number.
Okay.
X is a 2-bit number, and there are don't care. So we don't have anything showing for 1 1 or 0 1.
I got you.
Okay. So yeah, sorry, you kind of messed that question up.
Oh, I get it now.
Okay, yeah. If you didn't get it, I wouldn't worry a whole lot about it because the question is poorly worded, and I.
Because it was at a wrong university.
That's right. It was at a stupid university somewhere. It doesn't. Let's see. Now let me see if I know what this one is saying. Design the counter that corresponds to the below state diagram. No, we're not doing that. Okay. Sequential. Oh, okay, this will be good. So these are good. Okay, so I'm going to go to my office and look for more handouts, and while I'm there, I want y'all to talk amongst yourselves about the answers to these questions. These are modeled on the only final exam for 2742 that I actually have ever had my hands on, that I don't know that I was supposed to have my hands on, but I saw them, and these are not those exact questions, but they're modeled on those. And on that exam, there were some true, false, and questions like this, so that's why I put them there. So I will be right back. Do I dare pause the recording? No. No, because I'd never remember turning that on. If you're watching this recording, there's no telling how long you need to fast forward.
Tell James it's fine. You know James. The old Asian guy. Come on, favorite guy. Because it's just a book. He would always show up in the sessions, and he would always make sure that the recording was done. And if there was any question asked,
If we get an A on this exam, they replace it with mathematics. And GPA was because it's a 4 hour.
I don't know.
My first exam.
I'm just so happy that you took a picture of it.
Yeah, me too.
I was banking on you, dude. You got Vinny Snap, bro.
Huh? Vinny?
You got
Yeah, I
Vinny
did.
Snap?
I did.
Marty had my glasses. Said happy
Hey,
birthday.
you get it, bro.
For those letters?
No.
Oh, that's sorry.
You will see the light, bro. I need the ones where like the reason and the answers are the reason. They're making those.
Talking about Jarvis?
Yeah, they're making the. It's like $500.
It's not even bad. It's not.
And then you control it with your hand. You like, it's like your wrist nerve pulses.
Well, you just healed on me.
That's designed for cheating.
Or direct delta.
What's a direct delta?
It's like weird. It's like a square root sign. The music note.
Yeah.
When did we ever use that?
We had it on third exam. Same day as this exam that we had. The return.
Oh, that's.
I think the only thing different about it is just the cost, right?
Yeah, it's not anything hard. It's just that it has a special cost.
Yeah, so
You think
you
you
did a
just-
minus CS.
Oh, okay.
So,
You think you just gonna do stuff on post last test, like review exercises?
Yeah,
Post
just
the
review
first-
exercises.
I know
That's
I know
hard.
every
That's
run
easy.
of separate
It's
equations
easy. Yeah, I don't- I
of
do
the
all of that.
fucking Bernoullis.
And the only stuff we do with the you can find a Sherman at 3x3, and then you do like.
I forgot how to do it, but I remember it was pretty easy. I remember like
Is that the,
Oh, that's the S squared.
yeah, the S
Yeah,
squared?
and your thesis or your, when you get your solutions.
my
I think he's gonna put
that
the
way,
over.
it's not gonna make-
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Natural.
That's easy. I just remember.
That's the same one.
It's if it repeats. Like
you
if
do
it's
the
S
rate
minus T
and
squared,
time to
it's
concentration
T
rate.
squared.
No, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So you put it's like y prime, the derivative equals.
one, the derivative.
We're talking about difficult. It's the derivative. Y prime equals concentration.
Okay, so by any chance, did y'all actually talk about these like I asked you to, or are you just waiting for you to come back? Oh, yeah, okay.
I tried working through it.
All right, well, I am just going to sit here until y'all talk about them with each other. We can,
That's not good enough for you.
well, you're about to get your own copy if you want.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
Do I need any more? There's still a couple printing if anybody wants one. So, nope. Okay. Okay, we're going to have a contest. We're going to have this table against this table against you five right there. And I want y'all to write down your answers to all of these, and we're going to see which group wins. And if you win, you get 1,000,000 bonus points on the test.
It's on recording. Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh.
Said if you get it right, you get 1,000,000 votes.
Yeah.
Can I get 1,000,000 bonus points on the circuit exam?
No. Although I could answer, I used SI'd for circuits for a million years. Yeah.
I watched the videos from last semester.
Oh, actually, did I SI circuits 1 last semester?
Well,
Oh, I think I did. The second half of the semester, yeah. Yeah, because the person who was supposed to do it didn't ever, like, do it. Right.
7 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still like
James
They're
was
good,
also
huh?
there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's your fault. It's not your fault. But
You're not saying it's my fault?
no, I don't think it's your fault.
Okay.
I got a 97 on the visual logic exam.
Oh, excellent.
On the 2 circuits ones, I got 61 and 60.
Yeah. It's, well, there's a difference also, like, there really is a difference in being in person or like watching them kind of as you go along live, sort of, maybe.
Well, it's like it works for the visual logic. Maybe it's not like something about circuits.
Yeah, circuits really were, digital logic, I think, is easier to learn, like, circuits, if you can't really learn it the night before.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm not saying you did. I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying this, like, you really have to, like, kind of have it known all the way along. Yeah, you have to practice. There's no way to do it without practicing.
It has to be practiced, so that's all it was.
Hmm.
Are they all yes? I don't think so. I don't think four is yes. Game three is yes. This is true.
I see that group 3 is not discussing amongst themselves.
You were one of group three?
That's y'all. Yeah, I know. I was talking to you. The other 4 have no excuse. You know what? If y'all want to form your own little group 4, you'll probably win.
You think they're asking questions like this on the test?
There have been in the past. And I,
Yeah. That's not done for every single thing.
True or false? Come on, guys. Lock it in.
It is correct. I'm asking you.
okay, someone in each group write down your answers and have them let me know where the official answers is so you can't cheat after we're done. So I can know how many of your group got right. Okay, I'll wait.
I know you done yes and no yet.
Do the true and falses first?
Yeah.
No, I was asking you what the yes and no.
I'll put 7 as the answer 1.
I got no idea.
So there's 2 technical things in there.
I'm like, the word I don't understand. I'm not good at this. Where are you on picture false?
I don't know if two's correct.
No.
You said what, true? Yes. I think that's right.
I'll put Z.
Shut up. 2 balls. Can we spell it in first chance?
I mean, I feel like in the middle of a clock, I don't think you just do something in the middle of a clock cycle, so it's full cycle. Got it. Every step is also in the model.
It sounds right to me.
Everything
You're a cheat.
I'd say true.
The main goal is
That's true. 5's true.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So, the next one's false.
Great. We haven't done a J case since I came to us.
Actually, we talked about, like, she talked
Yeah,
about,
we
she's
did-
like,
we did,
yeah,
like,
don't
one
do that.
lecture.
Yeah.
It's the one where
We're on number 6.
Yeah, dude.
Don't even look at it, just
Okay, do y'all all have your answers written down?
Are we going to go through 13 through
In the
18?
middle of a clock.
No,
Okay, then no. Or yes, we'll-
Yeah.
just the yes, nos, and 1 through 6.
Oh, we're just going one.
Oh, I went
Right now.
from 1 to 12.
That's fine. I'm just going through the ones up here on the screen.
So we're shit.
But we're going to do the rest. So.
We're kind of confused on what's a lot of this.
I feel like JK is not a state
Okay. Question 1. Y'all have your answers written down, right? Right? And we're all committed to honesty. An output signal must go to 1 only after an input line A remains high for 3 consecutive clock cycles. Do you need a sequential circuit for that?
Yes. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Oh, it's, do you need it?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so anything that requires memory needs to have a sequential circuit.
I see.
If it requires memory, you have a sequential circuit. An output Z should be 1 if and only if two control inputs P and Q are both high at the same time. No. No memory. A light must blink once each time a button is pressed, regardless of how long the button is held down. No. A controller must detect the exact sequence 1101 on an input stream and then raise a flag. Yes. Sequence detector definitely requires memory. A temperature monitor turns on a fan if the current temperature sensor reading is above a threshold and off otherwise. No. Okay. In a synchronous sequential circuit, the output can depend on both the current inputs and the history stored in the flip-flops. True. A Moore machine bases its output slowly on the present state and not the external inputs. That is true. Mealy machines can respond to input changes in the middle of a clock cycle, potentially producing faster output changes. That is actually true.
Oh, I did say.
If you think of making your Verilog, you have your second always block, always at the clock cycle. Your first always block, if you put your outputs in that can be changing before the clock cycle happens. Sneaky. Extra sneaky. Every synchronous sequential circuit can be modeled by some finite state machine, but not every asynchronous circuit can be so modeled. That's actually true. The main goal of state minimization is to reduce hardware complexity without changing the recognized language or behavior. That is true. A single JK flip-flop can store exactly 1 bit of information, making it a useful state memory element. True, any flip-flop stores 1 bit of information. Doesn't matter what kind. Okay, how many of the 11 here, how many did y'all get right? Honest?
I think we were 4 wrong.
10.
2 wrong.
10 million bonus points.
Okay, million bonus points, all of y'all. Okay.
Handshake.
Okay, yeah, and you got it in recording. Too bad I'm not the one giving the grade. Sorry. I give you 1,000,000 bonus points, and you can do with them as you wish. Enjoy.
Monopoly
I guess
money.
too, I get like 900,000.
Okay, some groups have already looked at these, so now we'll just go ahead and look at these together. Unlike synchronous circuits, asynchronous sequential circuits rely on the propagation delays of the gates to define. Y'all never really dealt with that, so I wouldn't worry about that. The answer is true, but I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, I got that.
A state
But that doesn't count.
A state diagram and a state transition table for a given finite state machine represent the same information in 2 different formats. True. Removing memory elements, flip-flops, or latches from a sequential circuit can reduce it to a purely combinational circuit.
I don't really understand what that's saying.
A sequential circuit is sequential because it has memory, meaning it has a memory element in it, like a flip-flop. If you take out those memory elements, you could be left with a combinational circuit if you took them all out.
Oh. So like the and ors.
Then it wouldn't work at all.
Well, it would work. It would do its combinational logic, but it would not do what you originally intended. So it can reduce it to a purely combinational circuit. Doesn't mean it will work.
Oh, yeah.
It would not work, but it will be a combinational circuit. In a typical synchronous system, the output only changes immediately after the active clock edge. True. And that active clock edge could be positive or negative. It's just whichever one you choose is active. In a one-hot state assignment means only a single flip-flop is ever set to 1 for any valid machine state. One hot state means that. It means that all of your states are of the form. When you write out the states, you would have, like, let's say I had 4 states, A, B, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, C, D, okay, just 4 states. And I set A equal to 0, 0, 0, 1. I set B equal to 0, 0, 1, 0. C equal to 0, 1, 0, 0. And D equal to 1, 0, 0, 0. So even though I have only 4 states, meaning I only need 2 flip-flops, if I do one hot assignment, I need 4 flip-flops for one hot. For one hot, you have to have as many flip-flops as you have states, because only one of them will be active at any time.
So you always have at least one being shown in the flip-flop. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
One and only one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one and only one. So there's no 0, 0, 0, but there's also no 1, 1, 0, 0. So one hot means you have exactly 1, 1. And so if we go back and look at the question, a one hot state assignment means only a single flip-flop is ever set to 1 for any valid machine state. Now that makes sense, now that you've seen what it looks like.
I mean, I guess true.
Yeah.
So, I understand why it's true.
In a Mealy machine, the output logic depends on both the current state and the current input. True. I like that I copied the little alt text there. If 2 finite machines recognize the same language, then they must have the same number of states. No, that's false. You can have the whole, like when y'all did state minimization, you've proved that you can have different numbers of states doing the same thing. And so if you use different languages, you might end up with a different number of states. And you could just end up with a different number of states in the same language and still do the same thing. To detect a particular input sequence, you must build a combinational circuit only with no feedback or flip-flops. That's false. Have to have flip-flops for a sequence detector. I don't think that y'all talked much about setup time or delay time. Yeah, so we won't worry about 15. This next one says, a FSM described by n flip-flops can have up to 2 to the n reachable states, but some may remain unused.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true. The output of a Moore machine can change immediately when the input changes, ignoring the clock. That's false. But remember, we said Mealy could actually, but Moore cannot. State encoding directly affects the complexity of the next state logic in a finite state machine. So what that's saying is, when you set up, you have your machine, your state diagram, and you have whatever you have, and you make your table, and you say, I want A to be 0, 0, I want B to be 0, 1, I want C to be 1, 0, and I want D to be 1, 1. Well, you necessarily have the same next state logic, or the same complexity of the next state logic as someone else who says, no, I want A to be 1, 0 and C to be 0, 0. Does changing how you assign the states, could that affect your next state logic?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Because it would be in the order of however much, or which or Y zeros are.
Yeah, if you remember, when we actually make our next state logic, we're using those actual zeros and ones to make our Carnot map. And so, what they are actually does matter. Okay, create the ASM chart of a system that detects 101. And I have the state diagram right here. And
Are we assuming that S0 is where it starts?
I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay, so y'all tell me how I should start this. And by the way, in this handout I gave you, I have a page where I put information about ASM charts, like the symbols and everything. If we go flip to that, I see. I'm going to do that first. What page is that on?
It's 7.
Oh, maybe I didn't copy it.
Two rows don't make it right.
But 3 rights make a left.
That's all right, it's just for two rights and a left.
Never turn left though. It's not good for society.
Yeah, and in New Orleans, you can't. You never can.
You shouldn't.
Okay. So algorithm state machine, that's what ASM stands for. Special flowchart to define digital logic hardware algorithms. Describes the sequence of events. If you didn't make the last class of the semester, you missed this whole section, I think, right? Yeah. Determines the action which occur in the states in response to the clock pulse and in response to changes in the inputs. Okay, so you have 3 basic elements. You have boxes that refer to the states. They're rectangles labeled with the state name and assignment. And you either have, like, you can have your state name. You could also have your state code. If it's a Moore machine, you could have your output list there. Okay. Decision boxes, they're diamonds. That's a conditional input expression, and it exits 1 and 0. So what happens if the path is true, or what happens if the path is false? And this is just showing you there's a different way to do it besides just the diamond. And then you have a conditional Mealy output box. If your output depends on the input, you have a little oval thing, and you put the bye. Okay.
We're here for you.
Now, if you have a Mealy and the output is 0, you don't have to put it. You only put outputs of 1. So we'll see how that works. Okay. So let's go back. All right. So is this Mealy or Moore? Mealy. Okay, so from our reset, and I'll put a little S0 right here. From our reset, the next thing we do is we make a decision based on our input, and we only have 1 input and 1 output, so I'm not going to worry with a label on it. If we had more than 1 input or output, if it was like X, I would put an X in here, or A or whatever, but we only have a 1 and it's not labeled. So 0 and 1. So if our input is 0, we go back to S0 and our output is 0, so we don't have to put anything. If our input is 1, we go to state S1, and there's nothing special. I mean, I could have just gone straight down there. But the output is still 0, so I didn't have to put an output in there. So that's S1. Okay, then from S1, we make a decision based on our input. And our input could be 0, could be 1. If our input is 0, we go to S2 with an output of 0. And if our input is 1, we go back to S1 again with an output of 0. From S2, if our input is 1, our output is 1. So I'll put a circle there. Now, if I knew the variable's name, I would put it in there. But that little circle just means the output is 1. I don't have to put that it's 1. That's what it means. Because if it wasn't 1, I don't put it. And if it's 1, it goes back to, where does it go back to? S1. So I go back to S1. And if my input is 0, my output is 0, and I go back to S0. Okay, so now we need to come up with the state diagram for this chart. So now we're going backwards. And you can see there are some variations on how you draw it, but the basic idea is the same. And you should be able to look at any ASM diagram that's done correctly and interpret it. And if you do it correctly, anybody should be able to interpret it, even if you have some slight difference, such as this one has the states written inside the box instead of outside the box.
If it doesn't give you like a variable name for your decision box or what
Just-
your answer should be,
I would make one up.
it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter.
Like this one, does it have the name of the output? I think it's Z.
Yes. And 3 slices.
Yeah.
So you just assume everything else is 0?
Yes. So is this mealy or more? Yeah, this one's more. Okay, there was an excellent question. Someone asked, how do we know it was more? And that was a great question. And the way we know it's more is because the output is written inside the box. If it was mealy, we would see an oval somewhere there representing the output. So if those of you who are playing along at home, you're supposed to be trying to draw this yourself right now. Oh, there was a question, question chat. Okay, hold on. Mealy, oval, more, box, correct. So for mealy, if the output is 1, you'll see an oval somewhere. For more, if the output's 1, it'll be listed in the box for the state where that output is 1.
All you do? That's it.
Alright, so what you got? Just the 0.
I think so. You can put in the circle. I would do it.
On the state diagram, you should put all the zeros. Yeah, and if it was mealy, you would also put all the zeros. It's only in the ASM chart you don't put the zeros.
We're gonna give one innocent for that's it.
Well, she said,
Be the mulligan.
she did tell me, she did say be able to do it each way, but I don't think she'd give you two.
She's not giving us. She's giving us one, and then she's giving us 4 barrel law questions.
For Verilog questions, you think?
That'll be easy.
I'm sorry, I'm a little spiteful after MATLAB.
That's what yours.
After MATLAB.
EC tools fine.
Oh, okay.
A little spiteful.
Okay. I'll make sure she watches this part. She's not.
She won't know my voice.
Okay. All right. So I drew up here what I think the answer is, and I often make mistakes, so y'all should check and see if you agree with what I put up here. And if you have any questions on it, you don't know why I did something. The discussion around here also was, do you have to put all the zeros? And you do on the state diagram, you don't on the ASM chart. You have to put everything that should have a 1 or a 0 needs to have either a 1 or a 0. In the ASM chart, if it's a 1, it's labeled, and if it's not, it's assumed to be 0.
What I got.
Anybody get anything different that we need to discuss? Okay. Anybody need more time? Okay. All right, what is this question? This question was, are each of the following mealy or more? So this is actually a quick question. So we have two, this one is delete. So we're supposed to look at these two circuits and determine if they're mealy or more. All you have to do is look at the output and see, does the output depend on the input directly, or does it just depend on the flip-flops? So here's our output Z. Does it depend on the input separately from, the input is always going to go into the flip-flops. Does it depend on the input apart from the input going into the flip-flops? It does. So this one is mealy.
Could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, so you look at your input. The input is always going to go into the flip-flops. But does your output depend on the input aside from the fact that the input is going into the flip-flops? And the answer is here, yes it is, because right here, the part of the output right here, this X doesn't go through one of the flip-flops, but it's part of the output. So that makes it mealy. When we look at this one, this one is just more. Just more. Yeah. Because if you look at Y, what is Y coming from? Y is coming from the two flip-flops. And Z is coming from the flip-flop. So that's more. Okay, so this, we have a state diagram, and we are supposed to do a state assigned table and then do a minimization procedure. So we're going to want to use, I guess it doesn't matter if we have the same state assignments to do the minimization. Okay, so first we're going to do the state table. So how many states do we have? 6. Your next state will always have at least 2 different possibilities depending on how many inputs you have. We only have 1 input, so this will be W is our input, so W equals 0 or W equals 1. This is a Moore machine, so our output does not depend on W, so I can just say output. Okay, so output for A is 0, output for B is 0, output for C is 1, output for D is 1, output for E is 1, and output for F is 1. Our next state for A, if W is 0, is B. If W is 1, it's C. For B, if it's 0, it's B, and if it's 1, it's E. And for C, if it's 0, it's B, and if it's 1, it's D. For D, if it's 0, it's D, and if it's 1, it's C. And for E, if it's 0, it's A, and if it's 1, it's F. And for F, if it's 0, it's F, and if it's 1, it's E.
I have a question.
Yep.
When would we have to do a state table like this, but then make it binary?
Well, that's actually what state assigned means.
Oh.
So the next step is to make it binary.
Oh, like this wasn't part of the problem. It was just to help us. Like,
Right, because I can't do state assigned without, well, I could,
It's
but
easier
it's
to
easier.
have that.
And it'll be easier to do the minimization from this one than from the state assigned. Okay, now there is more than one possibility for the state assigned. It just depends on how you assign your A, B, C, and D. So I'm going to assign, let's see, so how many states do I have? I think it was 6. How many binary numbers do I need? 3. So I'll just go in order. There's no rule on this. You don't have to go in order. But I'm going to. The other difference is when we do our state assigned table, we have to add a little something. On the state table, we only need to put the states that we have. On our state assigned table, okay, so for our state assigned table, my outputs are going to be the same. The thing that's different is because I had 3 flip-flops, I have to put all 8 possibilities. So I only had 6 states, but I need to put all 8 binary numbers from 0 to 7 in there. So my last 2 states are going to be don't care. And so these next states will be don't care, 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 don't care. don't care, don't care, don't care. Okay, so I need you to listen to what I'm about to say, and if someone later on asks, how did you get the numbers that you put in for the next state, everybody will laugh at that person because I'm about to say it right now. Okay, so the way we get the numbers for the next state is we look at the current state where I have it labeled 0, 0, 0 for A. So everywhere I have an A, I'll put a 0, 0, 0. B is 0, 0, 1. Everywhere where I have a B, I'll put a 0, 0, 1. And so on my state table right here, I've got a B. What is B? B is 0, 0, 1. So I'll put 0, 0, 1 right here. And then when W equals 1, it's C. And what is C? 0, 1, 0. How did you get that number? And now you can all laugh at me. So where did the 0, 1, 0 come from? C is 0, 1, 0. Okay, so then what goes under this next one? B, which is 0, 0, 1, and E, which is 1, 0, 0. And then this next one, if it helps, you can always you can put these over here to remind you of what they are. So this is C. C goes to B, which was 0, 0, 1, and D, which is 0, 1, 1. And D goes to D, which is 0, 1, 1, and C, which was 0, 1, 0, and E goes to A, which was 0, 0, 0, and F, which was 1, 0, 1, and F goes to F, which is 1, 0, 1, and E, which is 1, 0, 0. Okay, so that's the state assigned table. Okay, now we're going to do the minimization process. So it's easiest, I find it's easiest to use this. Okay, so minimization, you always start your first partition, which is P0, is always going to be all of your states. So in parentheses, A, B, C, D, E, F. Your second partition is you divide them up based on their outputs. So everything that has exactly the same output, you put it together. Here our output is only 1 bit, just 0 or 1. But if you had 2 bits, like if you had 0, 1, you had 2 bits for your output, like you could have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, you would divide it up into 4 groups. So all the things that have exactly the same output. So the ones that had 0 were A and B, and the ones that had 1 were C, D, E, F. Okay, now the next things that we're going to do is we're going to look at the output when it's 0 and the output when it's 1. And if we have any changes in those, we're going to repeat the process. So we repeat the 0, 1 process until we have no more changes. And so the 0 process, I look and I see, where does A go if W equals 0? A goes to B. Where does B go if W equals 0? B goes to B. Are both of those things in the same set? They don't have to be the same set as where you started, just the same as each other. Does A go to something, does A, where A goes to and where B goes to, are those two things in the same set? Yes. So I will keep them together. So for P2, I'll keep A and B together. Now, where does C go to for W equals 0?
B.
C goes to B. Where does D go to? D. Where does E go to? A. Where does F go to? F. Okay, so how do we split this group up? C and E go together because they both go to things in the first set, and D and F go together because they both go to things in the second set. CE, and DF. So we did 0. The next one is to do 1. So we'll look at 1. If A is 1, where does it go to? C. If B is 1, where does it go to? E. Are those in the same group?
Yes.
Yep, so we can keep A and B together. Where does C go to? C goes to D. Where does E go to? E goes to F. And are those in the same group?
Yes.
Yes. So we can keep them together. Where does D go to? C. Where does F go to? E. Are those in the same group?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, do we have 2 in a row that are identical?
Yes.
Yeah, so we can stop. So I can say P3 equals P2, and so this is our minimization.
If you don't put that P3 equals P2, is it wrong?
I don't think so. I would think if you get the problem wrong, I would put it, because like if you get if everything is right, I'm sure you'd get it right. But if you mess up something somewhere, but you have that shows,
Points,
yeah, it might be some points that you knew what you were doing even though your answer is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Draw the sequential circuit represented by the Verilog code below. So this is a register, so registers were in the list of topics, so I think this is worth doing. How did I look at it, just glance at it and say this is a register?
Because of the.
Oh, it's the if.
Oh, output reg, but it seems like that would be it, but it is not necessarily.
Because of the Y1, Y2.
So it's a combination of all of those things that y'all said. The reg was an indication. The fact that I've got always at the positive edge of a clock. Why else would I have that if not for a flip-flop? And then I've got Y0, Y1, Y2, and I'm assigning what they're doing. That's what registers do. So when I see this, I know that, how many flip-flops do I have? 3. 0, 1, and 2. But I'll label them 2, 1, 0. There'll be D flip-flops with a Q output. Do I have any knots in there? No, so I'm not going to worry with putting the Q bar. D, Q, clock, 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 clock. Do I have an if? I do have an if. Do I have, does it look like the if goes to all of them? It does, so I'll go ahead and put the multiplexer on all of them. Sometimes you'll see something that's outside of the if, and that'll tell you that there's one of the flip-flops that doesn't have a multiplexer. And that'll go into the D. And then I look at the if, and it's if what? Load. So load. That's what's going to go into the multiplexer. All right, so now I'm going to see what happens. Okay, so if load, that's the same as saying if load equals 1. And if load equals 1, it says y equals the 3-bit number 100. So if load equals 1, I want to put 1, 0, 0. And this is Y3. This is Y2. This is Y2. This is Y1. and this is y0. Else y0 equals y1 or y2. So I will take y1 or y2 or y1, and I will put that into the 0 for y0. So okay. Y1 becomes equal to y2. So I'll take my y2 and put it into y1. Y2 becomes equal to w, so I've got my input w, and that goes into y2.
So 2 and 1 are ORed together to get to the multiplexer of 0 for 0.
Yeah, anything that's going into the flip-flop doesn't go directly into the flip-flop. It's always going to go into the multiplexer unless it's not part of an if statement. As long as it's within the if, it's going to go into the multiplexer and not directly into the flip-flop. James may come to my Circuits 2 review. He may be the only one. And I'll really harass him. Just completely falling
I'll
down.
probably do it. When is the Circuits 2 review?
I haven't announced it yet. It's Tuesday. It can be Tuesday evening. It's released Wednesday, right?
Wednesday is when it reopens the test stuff, and then Friday is whenever it's...
Yeah, I can't do it after it opens. So it's probably gonna be, and I'm not gonna even be in town tomorrow, so it'll be Tuesday.
I should...
It might be Tuesday at my usual SI time, which is 3:00.
I can make that. I have nothing else to really do, so...
James was the only one who responded to my email about what y'all want to cover in the review session.
I think James had texted something in the group chat, and he was just gonna...
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I'll accept that.
If I recall correctly, I can...
I'll believe that, and I'll believe that everybody was talking to each other. It's like, oh, I want this.
Can you bring it back to KFC? If I'm being quite honest, I don't think any of us know what we want to go over, because we have no clue what to go over.
Yeah. Do we have? He told me what was gonna. He gave me topics, but
Well, you don't have to touch the iPad.
that doesn't really help me. I don't really know what. I don't know what to do with y'all.
Don't worry, we don't know what to do with that.
All right, so draw the state diagram of the sequential circuit corresponding to the Verilog code. So what you want to look at this is I look in my always block, and that'll tell me what my states are. I have A, B, and C. Usually if I have a reset, it'll be in the second always block, and there is one here, and so my reset is going to be A. And so you find the line that says if reset does something. So that'll be my reset.
So this is Mealy.
This is Mealy. How did you see that it was Mealy? You were
T equals
correct.
0, T equals 1, T equals 1, all being in the same case.
Yeah, so within the same case, we have two possibilities for the output. And so it depends on what our input is. Our input is R. And if R is one thing, we get one output, and if R is something else, we get another output. So from A, if R, that means if R equals 1. So if R equals 1, I go to C.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How do we know that reset went to
I saw it right here in the second always block. I look in the second always block and I look for something that says reset. And if it has it, you use it, and if it doesn't, you just don't put it in at all.
So can both cases of A go to the same thing?
Mhm.
Of one state go to the same thing?
And even have different outputs. They can go to the same thing and have different outputs, they can go to the same thing and have the same output.
I don't know, it just seems weird to me.
It, yeah.
I guess
It is-
that's the thing with me.
So if R is 1, we go to C and our output is 0. And if R is 0, we also go to C. And this is what we were just talking about. It kind of looks weird, but you can have it. If R is 0, it goes to C, but the output is 1. So we do have to have separate arrows. If they had the same output, we could put a don't care and 0, but they have different outputs.
And another one more thing about this. In the beginning of the if statement, so for that first y equals c, t equals 0, do we assume that is in the case where r is 1?
So if R is identical to if R equals 1. So anytime you have if t, that means exactly the same as if t equals 1. Okay, so that means the else is t is 0, and that would be the second part. Okay, so now for state B, if R means if R equals 1, the next state is A. And the output is 1. Else, the next state is C. And the output is also 1. And from C, if R is 1, the next state is B. And the output is 0. And from C, if R is 0, the next state is A. And the output is 0. Is that good? Yeah, let's go back and see what all we've covered. Where did I put that? That's what we have left.
Can we go back to the previous state diagram?
No. Mhm. Is there a question? Another question?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you, for the input, like 1 and 0, like how'd you get 1 over 0 and 0 over 1? Like what's the difference?
The first number is the input, the second number is the output.
Yeah, where'd you find that? Right.
Can you answer that?
What was the question again?
How did I get those numbers on those arrows? Where did they come from?
If r begin y equals c.
So if it says if R, it means 1?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then,
She got it right there.
yeah, but I was confused by the 0. So
That's the output.
Just because the next one? Oh, it's
That's the output.
No, I agree with that. I mean the next one.
Oh, that's else.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, so if it's not 1, it's
that's
0.
what I was confused.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
How did we, I know we went over.
Oh, I really hope you asked where the 0 and 1 came from.
I know, I'm gonna ask, how did we know it was Muley Moore? Because I know he asked in the beginning, but I didn't.
You're just gonna form back in me again. Okay, so in the if statement, it has the case where it's gonna go to next and what t is equal to. And if we know when we're dealing with Mealy always displays the output on the line.
Yeah, if there's only one output, then it would be inside the state itself, and that would make it a more. That makes sense.
If there's an FC out,
Not necessarily. No, because I could have this. So I could have had this. I could have case Y A begin T equals 0 if R Y becomes equal to C, else Y becomes equal to A. End. And so notice here that in my case statement, my T is outside of the if, so I have an if, but my output is not inside of the if. So if my output is inside the if, then it's Mealy. If it's outside the if, then it's Moore.
Yeah. I thought that's how he was describing it.
Well, he said if you have an if at all, it's Mealy.
Oh, I mean, that's kind of
If you have an if at all, I'm just saying. Yeah.
What if you have, like, is it even possible to have T equals 1 and T equals 0 outside of the,
Case.
outside of the, yeah?
Yes. So I could have down at the last, in the second always block, I could have another way to do the output is in the second always block, only if it's a Moore. Only if it's a Moore can you do it in the second always block. So always at whatever you've got here. I'll just do positive edge clock. I could have, I'm going to skip the reset on this one. Y begin. Y becomes equal to Y, or the way I always do it is current state becomes current state becomes equal to next state, but here we have lowercase y and uppercase y. And then I would have T. So this confuses people. So I'm going to do it like in the most confusing way possible, because this is how I've seen it done. Y equals A, or Y equals C.
That's declaring that A and C are.
A and C are ones.
Yep.
I think we saw that one time on a Verilog problem. I
We
kinda
definitely saw it in my SI session. So if you came to my SI session, I did it. I watched it.
It's disgusting.
Well, I told you I was doing it in the.
I know you did.
Yeah. So that is another way you can do it. So that just, if you have it in the second always block, it's definitely going to be a Moore, and it would tell you like which states would give you the, and that this is like the most concise way of doing it, rather than saying if Y equals A, T equals 1. You know, this just kind of throws it all into one line. Okay, other questions? Yep.
If you had the same setup to where, never mind.
What did I say we had left? Sequence detector and the next state equations. I hate next state equations. Okay, I don't hate them, but people ask me lots of questions about them.
Is that the one with the KMAT?
That's gonna be this one. So we'll come back. So let me see what else we've got. To the counter, I don't think you need to. She didn't have counter in there, did she?
Negative.
This one, so I'm not going to do this one, even though it does have the Boolean expressions. If you really want to see these, you can go look back at find any YouTube videos from spring 2024, May. They'd probably be in there, or April. I think I did this one in last week's SI session, so if you want to see this one, I did that one last week. No, I didn't. So this one also would be in spring 2024, if we have time. I just don't know how much longer I can make this. No sequence detector, no sequence detector. Okay. All right, so I will do a sequence detect. Listen, what did it say here? Construct a state diagram to detect a sequence. Okay, so let me do that. All right.
There's two more ways.
That's where the NCP is.
Okay, so construct a state diagram that gives an output of 1 on the same clock cycle when the last two outputs and current output make the sequence 0, 0, 1, or 0, 1, 1. Otherwise, output is 0 and sequences may overlap. So is this Mealy or Moore?
Really,
How do you know?
because you have to remember something.
That'd be true for Mealy and Moore. But you're on the right track.
It's because the previous outputs depend. The previous two depend on the inputs. I'm trying.
You have the right. You're thinking the right thing, but you got your causes backwards. It's because the output depends not only on the previous outputs but the current output as well. It's the fact that it's the things you want to look for are same clock cycle and current output, or current. Sorry, I should say input. Last two inputs and current input. Sorry, not output. So you want to look for current input, and same clock cycle. Those are the keywords that'll tell you Mealy. Next clock cycle and previous number of clock cycles would be Moore. It would not include current input. Your state diagram for a Mealy always has fewer states than for a Moore. Mealy's always fewer than a Moore. So if that was like a true-false question. Okay, so we're trying to detect a sequences may overlap. We're trying to detect a 0, 0, 0 or a 0, 1, 1. So let's say we start with a reset. So we don't have anything yet. If we get a 0, is that heading us anywhere towards getting what we're looking for? Yes. So that's going to take us to a new state. Have we gotten there yet? Do we have any either of our sequences yet? No. So our output is 0. From the reset, if we get a 1, is that headed towards any of our sequences?
No.
No. Because our sequences both start with 0. So a 1 from our reset is going to take us back here. Okay, from having a single zero, if we get another zero, is that heading us towards in a direction, a further direction towards getting an output? Yep, that's a new state.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
If it doesn't help you go towards another location, you just go back to itself.
No, you go back, you go to whichever is the highest, the furthest along that you would have gone to. Like let's say I was trying to detect, zero, 1. I can't think of it. It'll probably come up as we do this. It will probably be at least one that it doesn't go back to itself. Okay. All right. So this time we got a 0, and now we have a 0, 0. Did that get us to an output of 1 yet? No. If we get a 1, does that head us into the direction of getting a sequence that we're looking for?
Yes.
Is it the same as having 0, 0? No. Be 0, 1. So we got a 1, but we still have, wait, this was a 0, 0. We still have an output of 0. Now, from 0, 0, if we get a 0, does that help us at all?
No.
So how far back does it take us? So now we had a 0 and a 0 and a 0. So which is the furthest along that we still have? Back, this one it would be back to itself because we still have a 0, 0. So this one is back to itself. So this would be 0, 0.
And you read it based off of the significant bit in the one before it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If we get a 1, do we have an output? Yes. And it's a mealy, so we don't have a separate state for this. We get an output, and then where do we go from here? We have 0, 1. So now if I have a 0, 1 and I get a 0, okay, this will answer your question. If I have a 0, 1 and I get a 0, have I made progress towards a sequence? Now I have 0, 1, 0. No. Do I have to go all the way back to reset? No, I have a 0. So I can go back to have 0. That's why I labeled these states that way, because I thought it kind of helps you see where you're going to. So 0 and 0. If I get a 1, 0, 1, 1, do I get an output of 1?
Yes.
Yes, but where do I have to go back to?
Make a new set.
I go back to reset. Because now I got nothing.
Why can't you make another state?
You don't want to make another state if you don't have to. Because if I don't make another state, I'm done. So,
I see now.
so I get 1/1. That worked out perfectly for being one that I just made up right then. All right. Okay, so there's a sequence detector. All right, now let's do. Given a sequential circuit, derive state and output logic expressions. Oh, that's the one that I said I didn't want to do. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I can't find it.
Was it not showing back there that you just passed up? I'm
Which-
trying to phase between the dot and case one. You were just hovering over it.
Right here?
Yeah.
No, because it says from a sequential circuit. It didn't say from a case. I was going to do this one, but when I looked back at this, it said from given a sequential circuit drive state and output.
Oh, okay.
I could have sworn I saw one. I saw it and I said, "Oh, I'm not doing that." Did y'all see one that has like a circuit drawn?
Like, is that like the one from the midterm? Similar to that?
I think so. There usually is one on the midterm. No, this is it. This is it. This is it. For the circuit below, let y1 and y0 be the present state variables, and let capital Y1, capital Y0 be the next state variables. Analyze the circuit below to derive the next state expressions and the output expression, and construct the corresponding state assigned table. Okay, so I will start by saying y1 equals capital Y1 and, I can't do an and, oh wait, we're doing just regular logic. Hold on. Equals capital Y1 and not Y0, right? Y1 equals the and of Y1 and Y0. And then I have Y0 equals the and of A and not Y0. And G equals Y1, Y0. Is this Mealy or Moore?
Mealy. Wait, no more.
Why?
Because the input A or B is not dependent on the output.
Yep, so you look at G only depends on what's coming from the flip-flops. So I have my possible current states are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1.
How X goes straight into yeah, but you only come straight from the flip flop, so it's like good. But X is going straight into it. So.
Okay, so my output is the AND of these two. So it'd be 0, 0, 0, and 1.
Wait, is this a melee or more?
This is more. Okay, so I have, this is going to be in the order y1, y0, and y1, y0. Okay, so y1 doesn't depend on A at all. So the y1 doesn't depend on A at all. It is the AND, this is y1, y0. It's the AND of y1 and not y0. So that would give me 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1, 0. They're the same because it doesn't depend on what A is.
Oh, I see.
Y0 is A and the not of Y0. So it's the AND of A and the not of Y0. When A is 0, the AND of A with anything will be 0. So that'll be 0, 0, 0, 0. And when A is 1, it'll just be whatever the not of Y0 is. So that'd be 1, 0, 1, 0. So now let's call these states. I don't remember ever doing this problem before. A, B, C, and D. And this will be 0, 0, 0, and 1. Derive state and output logic expressions. I guess it's just for kicks.
I was just trying to make sure there wasn't a
Yeah, no,
wording in the question that says that, and
No, no, no. But now I lost where it was. Is this it? Nope, nope. There. Yeah. So yeah, this is just for kicks. I'm doing it anyway. Okay, A equals 0. I go back to myself with an output of 0. A equals 1, I go to 0, 1, which is B, with an output of 0. From B, if I have a 0, I go to A, with an output of 0. If I have a 1, I also go to A, with an output of 0. From C, if I have a 0, I go back to myself with an output of 0. If I have a 1, I go to D with an output of 0. And from D, no matter what, I go to A with an output of 1. So, but the next state expressions, so let's do y1 first. Y1. Oh, we have them, right? Yeah, we don't need anything other than this. Do we? No, we don't need that. Those are the next state expressions and output expressions. Right? Right. I'm gonna check real quick, make sure. Thanks, James.
No problem.
Oh.
No problem. Figure it out.
If you don't draw the clock going to each one, is it wrong? No. Clock can be default. You can always just say clock left out for clarity. May overlap or have to overlap. It's may overlap. It just means that it's so when that would always be in the instructions. When it says sequences may overlap, that means that you can use part of it from the one before. If it says sequences cannot overlap, that means once you get to 3, you'll go back to reset every time. How do I get D? Do you need to be in C, but no way to get to C? I don't know what that one was about. And aren't you just testing each state? I don't remember what that one was about either. If y'all can give me some clarification on what those were about. For our last problem, aren't I just testing each state?
I think they're talking about the state diagram.
The state diagram, yes. Yes, I was. Other questions? It's about the current, you can't get an output of 1 ever. Is that true? Why couldn't you get an output of 1 ever? Let's see. If you get to, because you can't get to D.
0, 0, 0. 1.
No way to get to C. Let's see.
1.
That is possible. I mean, that can happen. Let's see if that is true. Let's see. Hold on. Give me a second. So if A
So anytime that it's
is 0,
So whenever
A is 0, we'd have a 0 here. If A
so A is
is
equal to
1,
So whenever basically whenever this one has a 0. So
is 1,
1.
yeah.
Okay. And then the output
this
whenever
would be
Y1 and Y0
0.
goes.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank
I
you.
was confused at first, and then I just started going through it.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta break it apart like that.
You could, if you started with, like if you started in one of these states. So like if you, we didn't say what the starting condition was. So like if you started in C, you could stay in C. So if you started there, you could get there. And that would be the only way. So like if you started in C, then you could get to D. But if you didn't start in C, you couldn't get there. In this particular one.
One review. Sure.
Did that answer your question? Okay, got it. All right. Okay, so that's all I'm going to go over tonight. I do have plenty of things from the number of years on YouTube if you go back and look. But if you have questions, you can send them to me. I probably won't have a chance to get to it because I'm busy all day in the morning, and then I'm going to Alabama in the afternoon, and then I have a party that night, and then y'all's test is at 7:30 on. But you can try, and if I am in the car and texting, I could do that. All right, good luck.